Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship here at the Hockenheimring. I'm Austin Knight. I'm joined by Tim Cox, and we got John Robertson in the production booth. You're here live watching Apex Racing TV.
Austin, Hockenheimring. Well, I know I'm one of these people, but when people hear Hockenheim, they think about the old iconic circuit with its long straights broken up by chicanes, heading down deep into the forest. Of course, we now race on this much shorter circuit. Now, interesting fact about this, of course, Bernie Eccleston and the F1 brigade are all blamed for ripping up the old track. However, due to creating the new, much shorter circuit, they had to rip up the original track and plant it with trees because it cut through a forest section, and environmentalists were upset about the amount of trees that were going to be cut down. So, nice useless little fact for you there. And, well, just seeing Sam Borski there head through Spetzcurve, and that's German for switchback. How applicable, and I can't wait for this one. We've seen some absolute crackers in Formula Renault 3.5 so far this season, and I just don't see this is going to be any different.
And I gotta correct you on that. It was Bernie Eccleston and the F1 Brigade who did it. It was the track's decision.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say there, so apologies if I didn't quite get that one out correctly. Yes, it was the track's decision, not F1 like is regularly blamed.
Yeah, as qualifying is going on right now, Carlos DeCero on his final lap. Driver's final lap's going on right now. Just put in the fastest lap. Fabio Di Carmo jumps up into second place. Yuki Shirakawa currently in third, and he advances up into second place. Eddie Samborski takes provisional pole with that bonkers of a lap. 1:22.36, absolute stonk of a lap. Looking at Joshua Stewart right now, you can see qualifying progression of our drivers at the bottom of our screen. Julian Kleins-Busnik is the next driver across the line. Been improving on their laps right now. Kleins-Busnik is, yep, this will be his final lap. Not the best final sector. Jumps up into sixth place, though, so good lap by them. Dennis Furkheim puts in a 1:22. That will be Dennis's only lap right there. He did 2 laps, but he invalidated that one. And Josh Stewart, I think he's just invalidated that one. Went really wide off the entry into the arena section. This final sector at Hockenheim is so tricky.
It is. It's so easy to get out off track where you just have to take it with full commitment. And It's so easy to pick up an off track for it. I think one of the big
It's
stories that we're going to have. Well, it's good enough for him, isn't it? Up at, like say,
Yeah.
up in something. One of the big stories that we've got coming out of this though is there is no James J. Pinsker. So I think I don't know, Austin, if you're a betting man, but I think you've got to have fair odds on Sam Borski taking the victory here today in Germany.
Yeah, Eddie is well, one of the fastest drivers in all of Formula 3.5. But in his first lap, he wasn't the fastest. Yuki Shirakawa, Carlos Achero, Fabio De Carmo are definitely going to be giving him a big run for his money. And we're here at Hockenheimring, so hey, we're gonna have a lot of fun right here as the drivers are all lined up and ready to go. It's time to go racing here at Hockenheimring, and here's our starting grid. Eddie Samborski is up on pole, followed by Carlos Achero, Yuki Shirakawa, Fabio De Carmo, Jason Sieg, Dennis Furkheim, Josh Stewart, Julian Kleins-Busnik, and Dylan Freckleton, followed by John Owens, Ludovic Rancon, Cal Young in 12th place. Behind them, it's Masafumi Abarame, Jamie Byrne, Shane Lambert, Miguel Crespo, Oliver Kwaka, Eric Weisenmoyski, Philip Pillard, and Daniel Gauss at the end of our 20-car grid here in Germany.
Just wait for the last few cars takes to the grid, and Austin, it's going to be all about, who can negotiate through turn one. Normally in the midfield, it can get a bit tight through there, and then, of course, into the big braking area, turn two. People who lock up could lose a lot of places through there because you've got the long drag through Parabolica down to the Spets curve, where another big braking area. We're bound to see lots of overtaking moves on this opening lap, or the first half of the opening lap. And it's going to be.
I'm expecting
the way through.
Whoever's getting the whole shot from turn 1 and turn 2 will be using DRS to stay ahead of the rest of the field right behind it, because if they don't, they're going to be using that draft. The drivers behind are definitely going to be looking down the inside heading into the hairpin. So we're going to have a fight all lined up right now here at Hockenheimring, as it's time to go racing. As we're just waiting for Kwaka to show up on track. 15 seconds is on the timer. Now 10 as we wait for those 5 red lights. Ladies and gentlemen on YouTube, I hope y'all are ready for one amazing show here at Germany as the 5 red lights are being ignited right now. It's time to rock and roll here at the Hockenheimring for the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship. And what a start by Yuki Shirakawa, rockets up into the lead. Carlos Achero jumps ahead of Eddie Samborski. Samborski gets off to the track and Achero falls down. Yuki Shirakawa flies past everybody and into the lead right there. Eddie Samborski trying to get past Achero, swings around the outside, the Achero defending onto the inside by Jason Sieg and Fabio De Carmo also up in there. The top 4 getting a little shuffled around. Jason Sieg getting caught up in there right now. Yuki Shirakawa already has a 1-second lead as Eddie Samborski is trying to hold up Carlos Achero. Other fights down throughout the fields. Number 7, Dennis Furkheim and Julian Kleins-Busnik and Dylan Freckleton having a little fight. Cars looking down to the inside as they're going really side by side. 3 wide at the switchback corner at the hairpin. Cars going way off the track, just trying to give everybody just a little bit of space and not have any sort of contact right there. I mean, did see a little bit of smoke happening down the field, but as we continue to go on, the order is Shirakawa, Samborski, Achero, Camo, Sieg, Furkheim, Freckleton, Kleins-Busnik, Stewart, Owens, Cal Young, Rancon, Aberame, Crespo, Byrne, Hillard, Lambert, Weisenmoyski, Gauss, and Kwaka.
There was a bit of contact in the background. I think Weisenmoyski was one of the drivers caught up in that one. And Miguel Crespo and
and around goes Furkheim! Dennis Furkheim around in the arena. The banked turn didn't help him, and he went around and in the gravel right there. So we get our tower up. Yuki Shirakawa leading out Eddie Samborski right there off the line. Yuki Shirakawa with a god-tier start from the second row and up to the lead. Somebody got smoking in the background. That's Cal Young. Cal Young in the wall.
Wow. It's all happening here, Austin, isn't it, on these opening laps as we just watch the replay of Young here. What happens?
Oh, he's in the grass. In the grass and uncontrollable right there. The grass rotates right here, and here is Samborski and Shirakawa. Samborski look down low. Shirakawa around the outside. Yuki Shirakawa, he's carrying the momentum. He's going to be around the outside as Samborski is still right there. Shirakawa is now down to the inside. Samborski around to the outside at the Mercedes Arena. These two are neck and neck right now, wheel to wheel. Samborski, he's got that inside line, but Shirakawa holding around to the outside once more. Yuki Shirakawa and Eddie Samborski still wheel to wheel, nose to nose, and there's absolutely nothing separating them right now. Samborski gets down to the inside line, and Samborski now is up into the lead. Shirakawa falls down to second place, and now Shirakawa under pressure by DeChero and DeCarmo. DeCarmo's up to the inside of DeChero, but DeChero needs the outside line of the track right there to get ahead of DeCarmo as they continue to go on once more. And man, this race is absolutely bonkers, and it's only been 3 laps.
It's been absolutely electric, and wow, I think Samborski, that was the key turning point for this race, getting the move done nice and early and working hard to pull out that gap over Shirakawa. Currently 6 attempts. What is Shirakawa going to do through Parabolica to respond? Surely he's going to open his DRS to close up that gap to Samborski. But look, here's DeChero. He's on the attack, and Shirakawa.
DeChero, DRS activated. Here comes DeChero with DRS down to the inside of Shirakawa. DeChero looking for second place. Now he started in second place, and Shirakawa sniped him off the line. And now Shirakawa is kind of falling down the field like a rock in hard water. Just absolutely nowhere to go, and he's just going to have to roll along with the current right now. But that start by Yuki Shirakawa has put him back to where he started in third. Top 5 back to qualifying order. But Samborski and DeChero, Shirakawa, your top 3.
Just going back to that, Samborski running very wide, did well to hold on to that. I think he just dipped a wheel into the gravel, Austin, but doesn't seem to affect him too much. He has actually grown the gap over DeChero by about 1/10.5 since the Parabolica, so clearly things not affect him too much as he ran to complete yet another lap. But Ranchon, the Frenchman, he only done 10th place. He did have a fast lap of the race for DeChero. It's displacing with a 1:24 dead. Having said that, Samborski is still pulling away.
Yeah, Carlos DeChero with that time. Now, he did have DRS activated during that lap, so that will explain why he went that much faster compared to Eddie Samborski. But now, as things are starting to calm down in the field at the front, as you can see, that is Fabio DeCarmo looking down to the inside on Yuki Shirakawa, just too far back away to really make that move. But he needs to watch out behind him as Jason Sega, that downforce racing car, is really making their way. As here is Dennis Furkheim getting their spot back down to the inside of that Apex Racing Academy car of Daniel Gallus.
Gallus has fallen down through the order. He has had a bit of an instant out on track, hence why he is down a few places there. But this is a replay of Gallus. Let's take a look at how it happened. Down
the
to
curbs. Oh, he just hit the back of Aberame right there. Yeah, I ran into the back of him. And he's got a car on his inside right there. So really struggling day for Gallus.
It looks like he's got away without any damage as well, Austin. So
yeah, these cars are pretty robust. These are the most robust single-seaters on the service. And oh, look at that! Oh, that's in the grass. Josh Stewart had to blink a little bit and we'll figure out what the heck has just happened as Radcon tried to make a pass in the grass right there.
I think they even made contact, Austin, banged wheels, and that Ranchon is currently under attack from Aberame right behind him. Look,
yeah,
Aberame.
Yeah, here comes Masafame Aberame down to the inside, and it's just covered off. Big lockup up ahead, and Aberame can get that momentum up and chase down Rancon once more as they're coming out of Spet's curve. As Miguel Crespo is chasing them down right here.
Mercedes now and head out through to the stadium section. It's only really one line through here, Austin, so it's all about remaining as close as you can, as close as you dare to the driver in front of you, so then you can take the opportunity for the first sector of the track where it's all about the overtaking moves. And this, I mean, Aberame is well within striking distance of Ranchon right now, but having said that, I mean, these three cars ahead of Aberame are all incredibly close and in equal chance of making a move over one another.
Yeah, they're all very close to each other. You can see them using all the track and then some to their advantage. Now, this is a iRacing top split right here, so they will have the drive-through penalties initiated. So they gotta, they gotta count their lucky stars each time they do that because, I am not sure what that noise was.
No, I'm a bit worried about these disappearing. I wasn't sure if it was my end or yours, Austin, but...
okay, you heard that too.
Well, no, I didn't hear a noise, just as you disappear. So it was a bit weird, but... yeah, I mean, as you were saying there, we've got, of course, being a top split race, you've got the drive-throughs, and with every off-track, that occurs 1 incident point. Of course, after 17, that invokes a drive-through. So you've got 17 opportunities. Of course, that does affect your safety rating. I'm sure with the way these guys are battling, the amount that they race as well, they won't be too worried about that, really.
The average, I gotta tell you, the average safety rating of all these drivers is a A4.9 right now. So I don't think they really care that much about safety rating. They're going to be using all of the track right here. Some drivers have been very lenient with the off track. Some of them haven't even touched it, and some have just been very blatant that they want this SOF win right now.
They do, and of course, with this being a B-class license race, they've got the average, as you say, being around about a 4.9. They've got plenty of safety rating to burn. They don't need to worry about it whatsoever. It's just seeing Aberame there. I think he's going to be a little bit too far back, although it's not going to stop him from having a bit of a look and just trying to inspect the Frenchman Ranchon ahead of him. So you see Lambert here, and I'll tell you what, he's really closing up onto the back of Hillard. Last time around, relatively evenly matched lap pace, but that draft, you see just how powerful it is through Parabolica.
Yeah, Parabolica in that draft is definitely one that you really need to be on top of to carry on that speed. As Shane Lambert definitely doing the work. And speaking of doing the work, Eddie Samborski, well, didn't have the start that he wanted. Well, he's definitely having the race that he wants right now. Pulling away, just at a purple sector 3 right there as he comes across the line. And Samborski, 124.2, and you see compared to the rest of everybody else, the only other driver doing a 124.2 is Yuki Shirakawa, down in 3rd place with the help of DeChero's draft.
Samborski now 2 seconds clear of the field, well out of slipstream range from the cars behind him. Shera has got his work cut out if he wants to try and close up that gap and needs to find some time in the bag. That, well, we've seen so far this season. Teixeira is no slouch whatsoever, but Samborski just that extra level ahead of the rest of the field. Likewise with Penske, who unfortunately we don't have here today. And we do have to wonder if we did have Penske, how this would have quite played out, especially with the start that Samborski got. And the opening start that Shirakawa got equally as well. I'm still reliving that in my head, Austin. What a start that was from the Japanese driver. He caught absolutely everyone napping. His reactions were instant, and he just catapulted himself to the front of the field.
Yeah, James Dave, the start by Yuki Shirakawa was insane. And I know the way that Yuki Shirakawa starts. He uses a double clutch system. I'm gonna avoid naming the wheel manufacturers that I use that has the same double clutch system, but he's found the right bite point on his wheel in these Formula 3.5 cars, and he just releases his right pedal to launch the car, and then he slowly releases the left one to find that perfect bite point, and it was just absolutely a night and day difference with how he started that time. And it looked like he was just on grip hacks, honestly, off the line, because nobody had that off the line speed that Yuki Shirakawa has.
I was just seeing a pass here right now. Klaus Busnik, well, Say apart, close having a bit of a look up the inside, and well, they're going to be evenly matched off the exits. Now the race down to Mercedes and Frenton. He's going to have the inside line.
Outside line.
Well, here we go, into Mercedes here.
Oh, that's tight. Around the outside. Oh, he's using it off. He's going to have to go off track, but that's going to be a slowdown penalty right there for Kleins Busnick. And Kleins Busnick, he's now being caught by Owen. No! Kleins Busnick goes around and collected again. Shot off into the air at third contact with Crespo. And Kleins Busnick, it's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, it's 5, and a little shuffle upside down flips for the Kiwi.
Oh, he just moved across the track, and
I said he was going to have to serve that slowdown penalty, and I'm guessing Owens didn't. I'm guessing they didn't notice that he was going to be letting the by, and that contact happened. This is where we got that slowdown penalty of, and he's going to rejoin the track ahead of the number 20 right here, and he goes down to the inside. The other car goes down to the inside, then he blocks it off. Oh, that's Lance Stroll and Latifi-esque. Oh, and then, well, he turns into a kangaroo. You don't see much of those in the New Zealand islands, but it's around the same area right there. And 2 cars in the pit lane, Miguel Crespo and Julian Kleins Busnick, an Australian and New Zealander. Both of them are going to be very cross of each other. John Owens, though, the one that hit him, is still on track.
I mean, I'm not too sure. I didn't collect much damage. I think he must got lucky at the hands of the Netco gods for that one, because it was a full-on clout as he came through, and
yeah, no damage to my knowledge. Now, these 3.5 cars are very robust. You don't get the oh, you tapped it and the wheel flies off, you tap a wall, your wheel flies off side of the situation where you're on the old damage model. Yuki Shirakawa falls down to 4th place. There was a bunch of smoke in the background. Was that Yuki Shirakawa's coming out of the final sector?
It could well have been. It might have been a bit of a lockup, and that's what's caused.
It wasn't a lockup. I think it was a spin up. Let's see Fabio De Carmo. Yeah, Yuki Shirakawa is up ahead. And, yep, it is spin up. Yep. And there's the lockup save right there by Yuki Shirakawa. And then Fabio round the outside, coast ahead. But here comes Shirakawa back onto the attack. De Carmo defending onto the inside, side by side at Stein Curve. And, oh, De Carmo had to really cut that turn tight to make room by Shirakawa. Shirakawa holding around the outside. We saw him do this with Eddie Samborski, but now De Carmo's onto the inside. Can he hold it around to the outside right here? Tony Kanaan helped Korkazoid in the Porsche, in the iRacing Porsche Esports All-Stars event. Can TK help out Fabio De Carmo here right now as they run into the arena section here at Hockenheimring?
I mean, don't discredit. I mean, just look at obviously De Carmo there in the middle of this pack, battling hard with Shirakawa. Jason Sieg, he just sat there biding his time, and you have to wonder, I think, whether he's just waiting for one of these two to either, make contact with another, make a mistake, and then he'll pounce. But we're currently on lap 11 out of 26, so not far off half race distance. And
oh, he's missed the corner.
That was a really, really deep there for De Carmo. Surely this is going to be Sieg's chance to strike and move up a place. Still currently where he started in 5th.
Yeah, Jason Sieg's definitely just been sitting back there following Fabio right now. Now, these cars, they do lose a lot of tire life at the end of this race as we're going to start seeing cars struggle for grip. We saw that with Yuki Shirakawa. Fabio De Carmo, once again, being very tight off of Stein Curve, and that's allowing Jason just to be right there. And we know these downforce racing cars are so productive in the corners. Like, they definitely know everything about this car. They definitely know how to use this car to their advantage. And the one thing is they know how to keep these tires alive. Dennis Furkheim goes down to the inside of Lambert, but Lambert looking for that switchback right there. He's got the momentum. Lambert, he could be on that gearbox. He's looking down to the inside, heading into the arena section. They're going to be side by side. Lambert backs off, allowing Dennis Furkheim to take 14th. And now next on the list for Dennis is going to be Oliver Kwaka.
It's got a bit of a gap to make up, Austin. 1.3 seconds ahead is Quokka. The man from this part of Europe, and hoping for a bit more of a better result to climb a few places. Having said that, he's already up 4. Philip Hillard in 12th, currently our highest riser. He is up 7 places since the start of the race.
Yeah, biggest mover, Philip Hillard right now. Currently behind Jamie Byrne is John Owens under pressure right now by Ludwig Rancon. Rancon looking down to the inside. Here comes Rancon up into the braking zone, and Ludwig Rancon making the move at Stein Curve. A beautiful dive and a jut down to the inside. And now Owens is under pressure by Masafumi Abarame right behind him. Thank you for watching this Apex Racing TV broadcast. Be sure to subscribe and ring that bell for notifications of all future Apex Racing TV broadcasts, live streams, and videos posted as John Owens lost that position by a wonderful switchback move by Masafumi Abarame.
I tell you, it was interesting going back to the previous move that position that Owens lost to Ranchon, because the Frenchman, he's very clever that he's just slowed it up to, as he was coming through Spets curve, and what that did was it prevented Owens getting on the gas early and getting the switchback and the run up to Mercedes. His ability to pull alongside him really killed off his momentum. A really clever piece of driving there from the Frenchman.
Yeah, you block off the other driver's exit, and you're pretty much forcing them to, A, adjust their driving line, B, make contact with you, or C, back off and just remove all momentum for a switchback. And that's what he did. Option C definitely happened. And I've seen that happen so many times in touring car racing where, it's called a block pass, where you align your car on the car's trajectory that you're making the overtake on. So if you see a switchback, the way you want to, a switchback forming, the way you want to defend for that is instead of taking the corner wide, you just keep it tight, and the other driver is going to have to adjust their line to avoid you, or they're just going to have to back off, completely kill off their momentum. And that's learned by hours of racecraft. Like, it is a very complicated move. Jason Singh sliding through the arena section right there. He's struggling for grip, and he's lost ground to DeCarmo ahead.
Yeah, it's Austin, and you said earlier about the tyres going away. Definitely starting to happen, and I do have to wonder for Shirakawa as well. Of course, we saw him have that wobble and a really good save coming out of Sudka the last corner. And what that's done for his the longevity of when the tyre degradation will really start to hurt him. I do have to wonder, and Takamo, he's not far behind, 6 tenths, the gap between those two occupying 3rd and 4th place. And ultimately the other part of the conundrum is how many DRSs these guys have got left. Of course, they have 8 available to them per race, but it's how many they've burned through already.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. Now, DRS usage, Fabio DeCarmo has not used his DRS. Yuki Shirakawa has used his DRS a few times to get ahead of Eddie Samborski and Fabio DeCarmo. So, drivers already using a few uses of their 8 allowed uses for DRS. DRS is activated whenever these drivers want to. They can activate it through this corner if they so desire. It wouldn't be a smart idea, but that just shows you on the freedom that these drivers have when using that DRS use, and they don't have to be 1 second behind the car in front of them. So,
I tell you what, Austin, I spotted something really unique the other week when we were at Sebring. That something I haven't seen before, certainly in Formula Renault 3.5, is that Pinsker used his off the start, his first one off the start line.
Yes,
and
drivers do that. That's a strategy.
Yeah, and it really worked him. Got ahead of Samborski into turn 1 and stayed there for the whole race. And a really, really interesting tactic that I haven't really seen the rest of the field certainly use on that and those open on that to get away from the line quickly, try and make up some places. And I do have to wonder, maybe now we've mentioned this in the broadcast, obviously we know all the drivers tune in post-race.
It's a great used track, but it's only beneficial to cars on the front row. If you're a car stuck in the midfield and you open up DRS at the start, you're going to risk the you're going to run the risk of running into cars adjusting and diving for position right there. And as it will help, but it won't help you heading into turn one as much as it does help the drivers up in clean air at the front. As the drivers up in clean air are battling for position and everything, and everybody else back in the field are just trying to get through turn one. Here at Hockenheimring, it's not that long of a run-up right there, but tracks of a massive amount of run-up, I was going to say Spa, like Monza off the line is where we usually see everybody attempt that.
You say Spa, it depends a lot on which pit lane you're using. If you're using the endurance,
we use the Grand Prix pit. We use the Grand Prix pits here.
We do.
We don't use anything else.
I love the purists in that. I mean, if you're using the endurance pits, it does work. Obviously, so then you've got a long run down to Lacoum. You know, up through Eau Rouge Rally on down the Kemmel Straight, so it would work there. But like you say, on that on the standard Grand Prix pits, that short run down to La Source certainly would not work at all. And I'll tell you what, these three getting very close, up close and personal. Well, this whole group of 5 cars starts at Aberame and then ends at Hockenheim. Wow, there's only roughly about 2 seconds covering all 5 of them right now, Austin.
Yeah, 2 seconds covering them, and you know, that time is even coming down now as the lead car of this pack, Jamie Byrne, is looking like he's just had a little bit of an issue, but you can see Oliver Quagga getting all the way really close to the back of Phil Hillard. And Jamie Byrne, John Owens is the front of this group, and we saw John Owens in that incident with Julian Kleins-Busnick.
So we did, and
turn on board Quagga.
Do love that view through, you know, through turn 1.
What is that on? What is that on this car? Is that a?
That is a
is that a
drive.
Is that a VRS direct drive?
Well,
on
I
this
hope
car.
it is, Austin, because there's no other better direct drive unit to have out on the market. And
it looks just like our advert, and Oliver Quagga dives it down to the inside of Philip Hitler and hit the hairpin, and Quagga makes it work right there in that. Well, I'm gonna say it. The VRS direct drive powered Formula 3.5.
And
around goes Hockenheim for the second time today.
Oh, no.
And Averop Weisermeiski got caught out right there and goes around. He tried to avoid it, and that upset the car. He went into the wall. That was a completely separate incident. Here's what happened to Hockenheim. Did he tap the back right here, or did he just catch the ground? He caught the curb. He got the curb, car over-rotated, and caught the inside barrier. Then Weisermeiski went off the track, caught the grass, and went into the barrier as well.
I felt for Weisermeiski because we're going to see this is on-board replay here. He stood no chance. I mean, the car careering, I mean, it's one of those, do you go left, do you go right, you're damned whatever you do. And, you know, Hockenheim, his car, he got no control of it. You know, you can't blame him. As much as I'm sure he would have been holding down the brake pedal to try and stop the car careering back across the track. You can't deny physics, and, well, that's how that ended up. But I'll tell you what, these two are all over the channel now. Byrne and Quagga. Tell you what, Quagga, he's going for another move here, down into the Spitz curve.
Yeah, once that little room really lifted off for him, he's made that opportunity once more. He gets Byrne on that move. Oliver Quagga up to 11th now. And he is now tied for the biggest mover of this race, tying Philip Hillard right behind him. So if this was a competition right now, Quagga would be taking the lead since he's the highest positioned driver. Can we go back to that onboard view? I really like that detail of his on the front nose. That is seriously the VRS Direct Drive.
It is, isn't it? It is.
That is a detail.
As much as other brands are available,
but we are presented by VRS, so you know.
We are, and you know, if you Google about VRS, you can find out more information about it, and that's clearly what's giving him all the grip and ability to handle that failure around a 3.5 so well out on track.
Just as Ludwig Randcon on the back. No, he's being attacked by Massimiliano Aberame, who went all the way over to the grass. Aberame's got that inside line right there. Randcon with DRS. He had to activate that to stay ahead of Aberame, but Aberame still got a nose down to the inside right there, forcing a DRS usage out of Ludwig Randcon. Massimiliano Aberame definitely on the heels of the Frenchman.
It was Randcon. Just about managed to keep hold of that one and utilising that DRS just to stay ahead, probably where he may not have wanted to. Just looking at Samborski's just heading around to lap 20 out of 26. I've no idea where this has quite gone, Austin. I mean, he is now nearly 7 seconds quicker than the field, and it's just another new fastest lap of the race. 1:23.78, the only driver into the 1 minute 23s. Dresho is pretty close at 1:24 dead. But
Eddie Samborski is oh, Ludwig Randcon's had an issue. What has happened to Randcon as he was under pressure by Aberame, and this is what happened to Shirakawa. Oh, and he tried to save that. He couldn't save it. Goes into the wall right there, and you can see all the spots as he is losing now.
He's all the way down to 15th now, Austin.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. So this is the fight for 6. Josh Stewart with an ambitious dive into the apex. Right there, he had a slam onto the brakes right there to lock them up to stay behind of Freckleton, as that was a ambitious corner for Josh Stewart. But Josh, I know him. He is one aggressive driver, and he definitely wants to go after it.
I mean, these two, this is going to be a fight right to the end here. Any 4 attempts separating Freckleton from Stewart, and Stewart just needs to, you know, keep it tidy, keep it clean through the arena section, and ensure he is right in on the tail of Freckleton like he currently is, because, as I mentioned before, that first couple of sectors is going to be so crucial for him, and his ability to mount a challenge yet again down in Spetska.
Yeah, challenge is still going on right now. Stewart just all over the rear end of Dylan Freckleton. As now you're going to be seeing the DRS usage by both these drivers, but no, Freckleton using the DRS. Josh Stewart not using DRS on the attack right there. Probably saving up for a little bit more, but he's forced a DRS use out of Freckleton ahead of him, as here is Oliver Kwaka down the inside of Owens. Kwaka up into 9th. He has been on a move today.
He's definitely making moves. I'll tell you what, Owens, he's now under attack. Someone I haven't even mentioned him all race long, his fellow countryman Jamie Byrne. Tucks up right behind him, Austin. Now, a little bit further ahead. I'm going to keep an eye on when they come across the line again, see what the difference is. But Shirakawa, last lap, was 7 tenths slower than the car in front of him, and more crucially, the car behind him, Fabio Di Carmo. Now, that gap currently stands at around about 2 seconds. However, there is a chance of that sort of pace difference. I say that he's just come across the line. Shirakawa's just banged in a 1:23.9. And the second driver to head into the 1:23, so clearly no loss of pace there, instantly making up for it.
Actually, Jamie Byrne is originally from England. It's moved over to Connecticut, actually.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we usually see him racing on with his son, James. And James not here for this week, but Jamie the only burn in this race, which is very rare because these two are always racing with each other.
Actually, it's what the beauty of just
And if you want more facts about Jamie Byrne, the colors that he runs on is the based on his football team in England, Watford MC, or the Hornets, and that's what his car colors are modeled after.
Watford MC? Don't you mean FC?
FC, yes. I'm thinking of MC Hammer. I was listening. I was listening to my playlist before this.
I mean, if it was West Ham, they are called the Hammers, so MC Hammer. That would make sense, but that's well.
There's no need to defend me of my stupidity. I can't read letters.
There we go. That's Austin, a night for you. Everyone. But it's surely Jamie Byrne. Hope for a bit more success than his football team, or as you would call it, I'm sure, your soccer team. Oh, yeah.
He did message me with soccer, and I said football, so I corrected that for the broadcast, and then I messed it up.
I'll tell you what, he's a little bit by bit. He's starting to close up onto Owens, and
he is on the binders right there, all over the gearbox of Owens. Owens getting a lockup out of that, actually, as 3 laps to go for them. And Owens defending onto the inside, already defending, so he's feeling the pressure. He's feeling the burn of Jamie Byrne.
It's now, if Byrne can remain close to Owens through this next section, and I mean, Owens is in a tricky predicament here because he's tucked up right behind Quoker himself, and he'll be looking to try and make that move, but he also needs to keep one eye behind him to Byrne, who's ultimately in one of the better positions here, because you can see everything that's happening in front of him. Doesn't need to worry about what's going on behind him, because Hillard is right about 1.5 seconds behind him. So this is going to come down to, I think, who's got the most amount of... Oh, there we go. That's that one.
Well, he certainly felt the burn. The rear tires burned up right there. The rear end goes out for John Owens as he falls down to 13th. Lambert and Hillard also get a free pass by. The rear end of these cars absolutely light on fire.
So it'll be about on fire. Samborski, 7.8 seconds clear of the field. Austin. Fastest lap of the race, 1:23.76, the only closest time to him is Shirakawa, currently in third with a 1:23.89, so 1.5 cents quicker than the nearest person, but Samborski has been consistently for the last few laps, Austin, in the 1:23s as he takes the white flag, 1 lap to go here in Germany.
Yeah, Eddie Samborski putting that dominance on display here at Hockenheimring, pulling away from the Chero 8 seconds. And even if he didn't get the best start off the line, he certainly had the best rest of the race right there. He's got 1 more lap to go. We still got fights on the field. We got the fight, Josh Stewart and Masafumi Aburame having a scrap for 7th place, I believe.
Interesting stat for you, Austin.
6th place. Freckleton.
Our top 5 are all from different continents of the world. The only continent we haven't got, well, to be fair, we haven't even got represented, I don't think, in this race is someone from Africa.
We actually usually do, and I think both these drivers have sold a fake to each other, and they both locked up through the corner. We usually do have a South African represented right here. I said South Africa. Well, they are from South Africa. But we usually have a driver from Africa represented here. But yeah, from almost all the continents in the world represented in this race. And Eddie Samborski takes the win here at the Hockenheimring.
Keeping an eye on those battles behind Austin, but I think they're going to be done and dusted and remain as they are, because Nobody's gaining on one of them, and there's not really overtaking opportunities. They all come in the first half of the lap, and see Freckleton and Stewart head across the line. That's one of them. The other one is Burn and Quoker. Again, they're going to remain as they are. The last one is Garlis and Ranchon.
Yeah, great race here today. It really flew by.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure where 26 laps have quite gone.
Yeah, it was it it was up there with everything, and I think you made one of your friends in the YouTube chat mad. What about the Antarctica drivers?
Oh, there we go. Yes, geography has failed me once again.
Tim, I won't stand for your anti-Antarctica bias.
Oh, there you go. I know, Austin, you're not angry, you're just disappointed.
I'm not the one who wrote that. You're gonna have to talk to Chris about that.
Apologies, Chris. I'm not anti-Antarctica.
There's just no residents there. Besides penguins. Well, the results today are Eddie Samborski taking the win. Here ahead of Carlos Teixeira, Yuki Shirakawa, Fabio DeCarmo, Jason Singh, Dylan Freckleton, Josh Stewart, Masafumi Albarami, Oliver Quokka, Jamie Burr, Philip Hillard, Shane Lambert, John Owens, Daniel Gauss, Ludovic Randcon, Cal Young, Dennis Furkheim, Eric Weisermeisky, Miguel Cresswell, and Julian Kleins-Bustic at the end of our 20-car grid. And what a day it's been for Eddie Samborski.
It has indeed. It's been, yeah, since he made his way past Shirakawa in these opening stages, that was the defining moment of the race. And, well, from that moment onwards, he's headed off into the distance, and a convincing win for him here.
And it's also, we have a first here. Yuki Shirakawa, after a year of trying, finally gets onto a podium position here on a Strength of Field broadcast, and he did it. Oh, it was looking tough for Yuki right there, but Yuki finally did it, gets onto the podium right here, and we might see them in the interview room, but first we're going to be talking to Eddie Samborski. Eddie, how are you feeling after that one?
That was wild, man. Obviously, you guys can't see, but the wind was something else. It was south, which means down the first straightaway, it was in your face. So, turn
Headwind.
one, yeah, the headwind, yeah. And turn one, the hairpin, and then braking after the second straightaway. Man, that was wild. It was,
yeah, your race here today wasn't really straightforward either. You started off the race coming out of turn one, you were third. You want to talk about that start off the line?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I hesitated long enough to start letting the clutch out. Obviously, I didn't. I've been doing it all week. I don't know what's going on. So I need to go back to the drawing board and figure that out. It was just driver error. Let the clutch out just a little bit too soon. I'm trying to match Yuki, which, he's the guy when it comes to starts. You really can't match him. So I guess I should just do my normal start and go with that instead of dropping places. But the first couple laps, I wanted to get the move. Because it's very easy to get the car hot, specifically the tires, when you're following. So I knew it was like I got about 5 laps to get this get a move on. So I was using all the tricks in the book, man.
Well, you certainly used everything when overtaking Yuki Shirakawa. You had the pace to catch up to Yuki, and when you made the move, no one was able to catch you right there, and you just went off into the sunset right there. With a little headwind in there, but yeah, that definitely worked out for you. Congrats on another win here.
Thank you. I got to give a shout out to Yuki and the guys. I had to do some major tweaking. Yuki actually beat me earlier in the week, so shout out to him. And he set a world record in qualifying last night. So congratulations, Yuki. You're officially the fastest qualifier at the Hockenheimring.
Well, Yuki certainly setting the world on fire. Thank you, Eddie, for an amazing race. And standing by with Tim. Tim, who are you standing by with?
I am standing by with Jason Sieg. Jason, well, I mean, probably what you were ultimately hoping for. Other than the opening laps, a relatively calm race for yourself, and bring the car home in 5th behind Fabio.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, lots of fun out there today. Wow. Yeah, really good.
I mean, those opening stages, it was incredibly tight in the battle, of the top end of the midfield, the bottom end, the podium positions, and what was your tactics on the opening lap there, just to try and keep it clean and hope the race came back to you, or were you trying to play it a bit more aggressive and try and make it some places?
Just a bit more clean. Yeah, I just wanted to see what Yuki and Carlos did just up ahead. And a bit of a shame there. I think Yuki had a bit of a spin a bit further in the race, so a shame he couldn't put the pressure on Carlos. He's been super quick here all week this week, Yuki.
Yes, we just heard from Eddie, who said that Yuki set a qualifying world record for Hockenheimring in the Formula Renault 3.5 earlier in the week, which is a real massive achievement for him. Obviously, in terms of yourself, next time out, we head to Road America, fast, free flowing, plenty of overtaking opportunities. Is it a track you love or not so much? How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, love driving it. Wow, it's awesome. Yeah, I think if you can really hook up that carousel onto that back straight, that's when we can really get that 100%. That's a good feeling. And then really looking forward to Bathurst the following week. That'll be a home track for us, for me in Sydney. So yeah, looking forward to Bathurst definitely.
Oh yes, I'm sure that is definitely high up on your agenda, and I'm sure lots of practice be going into that one, and hoping you have plenty of luck. What it's all like across the top of the mountain. Before we let you go, Jason, anyone you want to give a shout out to at all?
Yeah, just a big thank you to the DFR guys. Another good week. Everyone really helping everyone out. So pretty awesome to be part of the team. So thank you, and thank you to Apex Racing and all the other races out there today. Yeah, really good bunch of guys. Cheers.
That's no problem. That's Jason. See, you came home in 5th place here today. Austin, I believe you stood by with Joshua. Ooh.
Yes, I am standing by with Josh Stewart. Josh, how are you feeling after that race? It was a P7 for you, and you were around a lot of battles today.
Hey Austin. Yeah, it was a pretty intense race. I made it more difficult for myself than I should have. I started 7th, dropped back to 10th or something, and then had to fight my way back up, and couldn't quite make it past Dylan in the end. But yeah, happy with making the finish line in one piece this week anyway.
Yeah, you had a little bit of a scare in the final lap of the hairpin where you both locked up. It looked like both of you were faking it down to the inside, and neither of you were really deciding where you were going to go. You want to walk us through that incident?
Yeah, it was just a Hail Mary, like just try and throw him off to the inside, maybe come back to the outside brake late and sort of switch back on him. I tried it a few laps earlier and didn't quite work, but it was sort of that's all I had left. It was really strategic actually those last few laps. He had maybe 6 DRS lap after lap, so he saved them up, and I just didn't have the top end. I was hitting the limiter, so that's yeah. That was the last thing I had, and didn't quite come off, but yeah, avoided each other as well. That was good.
Well, next week we head to Road America. I know your history with Road America has been a little bit spotty. How are you looking forward to next week?
Oh yeah, after last time I had a bit of a grass baby into the wall, but
How's that baby doing, by the way?
yeah, I had to cut him down to size a little bit. Is that I don't know. That doesn't work as a bit of a pun, but anyway.
It actually does.
No, I'll be away next week. I'm bummed. I wanted to avenge the bad performance last season, but I'm looking forward to coming back to Canada the week after. Though I really love that track, so looking forward to that.
All right, we'll miss you at Road America. But before we let you go to take a week off and get ready for Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in 2 weeks' time, anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, just thanks to DFR, the team. Thanks to Eddie this week. He hooked up a setup that was great. I didn't get to do many laps. I went to the Grand Prix on Friday, just the free practice, so I didn't get to do many laps this week. But thanks to Eddie for sorting the setup out, and thanks to you guys. I'll look forward to watching the broadcast next week.
And congrats on a great race here today. Put on a great show for all of us here on Apex Racing TV. Tim, any closing thoughts today?
Wow, Austin, I'm not too sure where 26 laps went. It was filled full of action, incidents, drama, right from start to finish. And hey, next week's Road America, Austin. You know, of course, we're away for 2 weeks in North America as the Formula Renault 3.5 Tour heads to Road America and then Montreal. With plenty of overtaking opportunities actually at both tracks. I'm really excited for the next couple of weeks before we turn to Europe at Spa. Again, another great track that's going to provide entertainment. It's some really, really exciting times for this series.
Yeah, a lot of fantastic times for this series. Congratulations to Eddie Samborski on a fantastic way. Carlos Achero and Yuki Shirakawa for getting onto the podium. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here on Apex Racing TV for the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship here at Hockenheimring. Next week, we go to Road America, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I've been joined by Tim Cox with John Robertson in the production booth, and I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.